Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Jeff Parker with Marriage Matters. And if you're watching this on YouTube, let me encourage you to subscribe, be a part of our family, and you can get notices as new videos are made available. Today, I'm doing a two-part, and this is the first part, part one. I'll be dealing with premarital counseling, the danger of yoking ox with a jackass. And you may think, well, that's a strange title, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But you know, the most important decision that you're ever going to make is who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Outside of your relationship with Jesus Christ, your marriage is the most critical relationship that you'll ever be involved in. And for so many couples, they'll go into that without good, sound, biblical premarital counseling, and I think that's a mistake. You know, it does an enormous amount of damage. Couples sometimes will think, well, if, they're thinking in their mind, if it doesn't work out, then, we can divorce and go our separate ways. But let me tell you, after nearly 40 years of walking people through divorce is second only to death. It's very painful, and it's not fair to children. So premarital counseling is so critical, so important. A lot of times you may think, well, you're trying to talk us out of getting married. Well, if I can talk you into doubt, into uncertainty, if I can talk you out of it, then my friend, you never needed to even contemplate marriage to begin with. You don't need to marry somebody that you have doubts about. So that may be important. Now, for me to do premarital counseling, I'll do premarital counseling with anybody. But for me to perform a ceremony, a marriage ceremony with two people, they have to be believers. That's first, and I'll talk about that in a moment. The other thing is that I require two books. One, Dr. Willard Hartley, His Needs, Her Needs, Building an Affair-Proof Marriage. And the second one is by Larry Burkett. It's still in print, even though Larry Burkett has gone to be with the Lord. It's the Complete Financial Guide for young couples. Both of those books are excellent. I use them as a part of premarital counseling. I also will do at least three sessions with a couple prior to performing the ceremony. Now, what is the purpose of premarital counseling? As a counselor, what am I trying to do? Well, first of all, I'm just trying to prepare a couple, two people, for the challenges of marriage and the stress and the rough waters that are sure to come. I've said it over and over again, but Dr. James Dobson said marriage is like two rivers that are coming together, and it's just a lot of turbulent, rolling water, and the farther down river you go, the better it gets. But my purpose, one primary purpose of premarital counseling, is to remove the element of surprise. In other words, what happens, a lot of times a couple gets married. Down the road, they get into a major conflict or an argument, and at a certain point, one or the other will make this statement: if I had known this about you, I would have never married you. That's a painful statement, but what they're saying is this: had I had this information, had this been revealed to me about you, I would have never married you. So with that in mind, in premarital counseling, what I do, and I've got a book bag here. Now, this book bag goes with me to a lot of places. And a lot of times what I'll do in premarital counseling is I'll say to a couple, now, this book bag, because it's closed, you don't have any idea what's in it. There could be a bomb in it. The reality is that every one of us, when we approach a relationship, and especially marriage, you might say we have a book bag or a backpack. And in that is certain things that we reveal about ourselves. In premarital counseling, what you understand is this: when two people are contemplating spending the rest of their life together, our nature is, prior to marriage, we're just trying to put our best foot forward. But there's a level of hypocrisy. My purpose in premarital counseling is to kind of peel away that hypocrisy and that facade, remove the element of surprise, and bring out, in essence, the contents of what they may not want to reveal as to their personality, as to their life. You see, we usually we usually do not want to reveal certain things about ourselves that we perceive the other person may not like. Now, I'm being honest with you. In other words, there's certain elements of our personality. Let me give you an example. A man may have a violent temper. He may have a short fuse, but he does everything that he can to cover that up because he doesn't want this woman that he's in love with to see that about his personality, to see that in his nature, because he believes it would be offensive and might turn her away. There are things that we hide about ourselves that often need to come out in premarital counseling. A lot of times couples will come, and if they're carrying on sexually, I'll talk to them about that. They need to repent to God, they need to repent to each other, and they need to make a commitment not to sleep together any longer. If couples are living together, I will not marry couples who are living together. Somebody's going to have to move out, and they too are going to have to repent before God and before each other. A lot of times people will make this statement, well, you don't know somebody until you what? Until you live with them. But the reality is you don't know somebody until you're married to them. You see, when you're in a live-in relationship, if you call it quits, there's no repercussions. Person just basically packs their clothes and out the door they go. If you're married, then it's going to require much greater effort to leave that marriage. Usually it requires a divorce. So you don't know somebody until you're married, until you're legally bound to that person before God and before the laws of the state. But again, our tendency is to not reveal certain things about our nature. So my responsibility in premarital counseling, and any good counselor should do this, is first of all, is to just remove that facade, that level of hypocrisy. Now, sometimes people think, well, if I show my true colors, then there's a possibility they may reject me. Well, listen, it's better for you to be rejected in premarital counseling for the person that you're thinking about spending your life with. It's better for them to reject you having full knowledge and full disclosure of who you are. In other words, you basically pulled everything out of your bag, than for you to be down the road with 3 kids and all of a sudden find yourself in a relationship that becomes very difficult to end. Secondly, a lot of times couples will look at me in premarital counseling and they say, well, we don't want our plans interrupted. The wedding is on, it's too late. Well, it's never too late to put the hold on a ceremony. I remember a couple one time, I counseled them, they read the books, we went through 3 sessions. At the end of the 3rd session, I told them, they were dear friends, I said, I just don't believe that you should get married. Well, they just kept on, till finally, because they were dear friends, I made the mistake of performing the ceremony. And sad to say, that marriage ended in divorce. So, it's never too late to put the hold on a ceremony or to call a wedding off and to walk away from a relationship. Another thing is that sometimes, especially women, they're more apt to feel this way. They'll look at me sometimes and they'll say, Pastor, I'm not getting any younger. And I don't want to miss this opportunity. I want to get married. I want to have a family. And I'll say to them, I could fill the sanctuary with miserably married men and women who would give anything to be where you are right now. Now, in the 2nd session, what I'm going to do is we're going to take that river analogy and we're going to kind of look downriver at some of the rough places that most couples will face in marriage as they move along in the weeks and the months and the years to come. Well, I hope this is helping you. I love every one of you. I pray that God can use these videos to create conversation, especially between 2 people that are contemplating marriage. And also for those who may be looking at this, you're already married, this may help you. But more than that, This can help people that you know are looking to get married down the road who may need some insight and direction as to good premarital counseling. Well, I love you. I pray that everything goes well with you. You have a great day, and talk to you soon.